Watch this one. Look at the comparative text from Matthew 8. This is one of my favorites. This guy, you can tell who he is just by his title. When Jesus enters Capernaum, a centurion comes to him pleading with him. Now, a centurion is exactly what you think it is. If you've ever watched a movie that deals with Rome, with gladiators, with the time of Caesar, then you've seen a centurion, a Roman soldier. He was a Gentile. He was a Roman. He was not a Jew, which means he probably, not only did he not live under the law, he probably didn't even know what it was. He never went to synagogue in his life other than maybe to break up a fight between a couple Jews. That might have been it. He had no perception of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He didn't understand the Sinaitic covenant. He knew nothing about the land of inheritance. He couldn't have told you probably who Adam was from Aaron. But he had heard about Jesus. And as far as he was concerned, that's all that really mattered. He didn't need the history. He didn't need the past. He didn't have a good prayer life. In fact, he might not have had one at all. If he did, it was polytheistic. He served many gods, whichever ones the Romans threw in front of him. And his biggest god would have been Caesar. He swore an allegiance to Caesar to live and die for him, pay tax and tribute to him, probably even pay sacrifice by blood to him. He'd probably shed blood of men's lives in battle, maybe even in peace, in the name of the Roman Empire. He walks before Jesus as a guilty man. Of all the sinners you've ever seen and all the atrocities that have been committed in the world, this man had probably seen and done most of them. Stands in front of Jesus as if anybody has ever stood in front of Jesus guilty of sin. This man is the leading candidate, and yet he dares to walk up and plead with Jesus, verse 6, saying, Lord, my servant is at home paralyzed and dreadfully tormented. 7. And Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. Time out. I will come and heal him. Why does Jesus say, I will come and heal him? I think Jesus, first of all, Jesus is testing, always testing the boundaries of human faith. He's always testing. Jesus, Peter's on the boat. Jesus, if that's you, bid me come to you. And Jesus says, Peter, come on. Always testing the boundaries of human faith. If you really want to, come on. Always giving opportunity. So he says, I will come to your house, heal him. And I think Jesus does it because typically this is what's had to happen. The lower amount of faith that you had, the more proximity you thought you had to have to Jesus. He needed to touch you. He needed to move. He needed to come have a conversation with you. So Jesus opens the door first. I will come to your house and heal him. What is Jesus offering to do? Come to his house and it sounds a lot like Jairus. It might tell you what Jesus thought of religious faith compared to Roman centurion faith. Verse 8, the centurion answered and said, Lord, I'm not worthy that you should come under my roof, but only speak a word, and my servant will be healed. Wow. Okay, we're not reading the next verse yet, but wow. This guy just took the fence. The one Jesus set up, the limit. Said, I'll go to your house and heal him. And the man said, let's do better than that. I'll tell you what, let's get rid of that limit. I'm going to bring it all to you. If you can just say it, I believe it'll be done. Now, if Jesus works within a certain function, a certain capacity only, we haven't seen it yet, but the next verse should say, no, I'm going to your house. Right? If Jesus functions within a preset packaged limit, then it's going to be the same cross-denominationally. It's going to be the same regardless of your culture. It's going to be the same regardless of how much you've been reading and how much you've been fasting and how much you've been given. And it's also going to be, or maybe the next verse, Jesus says, you're right, let's go to your house. You're a Gentile. You don't keep the law. You're in pretty bad shape. Therefore, I'm going to have to go do some more intensive prayer. Let them come to your house to heal your servant. You know what he says, but I want you to see it. I'm a man under authority, having soldiers under me. I say to one, go. This is the centurion talking. I say to one, go, and he goes. To another, come, and he comes. And to my servant, do this, and he does it. 10. When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to those who followed, surely I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel. He didn't just mean in the borders of Israel. Jesus didn't go visit Spain. What's he talking about? He says, I have not seen anybody who should know what my daddy can do pull the limits in this tight, or push, or rather say, push the boundaries out of what I can do, limitless. Whereas my own people make me come to the house. This guy says, if you can just say the word, I believe my servant will be healed. I haven't seen this great of faith, not even in Israel. 11. Did I give you Matthew 8:11? Okay, that's it. What happens? You know the story. The man goes home, and it says, and from that point, his servant was immediately healed. What does Jesus do? He meets the man at his faith. We got 3 incidents. Let's bring them all home with this. In every incident, Jesus meets the person exactly where they put the limits. Jairus says, come to my house, my daughter will be healed. Jesus knows that before he gets there, she's going to die. But he don't fight him. He stays inside the box. The one with the issue of blood sees him pass in her house. She says, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, I'll be healed. He doesn't fight it. He just stays inside of her box. However big. He meets a centurion, doesn't know anything. Guy says, if you just say the word, my servant will be healed. Jesus functions right inside of those fences, right inside of those gates, wherever confinements he puts him on. Did you notice that in all 3 cases, Jesus did it differently, but every single time he did it according to what they thought of him? So what if you just thought he could do anything?